Hey, there we are. Wednesday, May 7th. Matty Riser, Matt Kelly, Wrestle Matt's coming at you live on the YouTube, on the Facebook, and we got nothing but time and backlash predictions tonight, Matty. What's up, buddy?
Time is on my side. Yes, it is. We got Backlash. I think we're going to have some banger wrestling heading our way May 10th. Let's get going, baby. How you doing, Matt?
Man, May 10th. God, we just got done with WrestleMania. Calm down, people. Calm down. Good grief, WWE. Yeah, I am more excited about Backlash this year, Matty, than I have been in previous years, as you alluded to last week. It's not just like a bunch of rehashing WrestleMania matches. It's like at least some storylines are advancing, and Backlash feels a little bit fresh. It's interesting that we got 5 matches that we're going to be talking about tonight, and one of them is not Jey Uso. I texted you, and I was like, "Oh wait, Jey Uso and Logan Paul are not at Backlash, at least not as of yet." But there's some other big names, other big matches, and we got a lot of big news to square away as well. So let's jump into some releases that took place for the WWE product this past week. Now, Maddie, most of these are coming off of the back of NXT. There are a few main roster releases, and then not pictured here as well. Shotzi announced that her contract is going to run out. She's not expected to renew, so it's hard to tell where she's going to end up. And then Cora Jade just got pushed down to the bottom because we didn't have room to put her back up there with NXT. But as you're looking, on YouTube, if you're following along, or on Facebook, if you're following along, you see a lot of these names. Some of them have been displayed on TV recently. Some of them not so much. But what sticks out to you, Maddie?
Yeah, just it's clutter. It's a lot of bodies that aren't necessarily getting over for the WWE brand. For NXT, we're seeing developmental just kind of shift through so many different wrestlers. It's hard to keep up, man. I'll be honest. Just with over 100 superstars on the main roster, and then you're looking at NXT. Some of these guys have the look. Wolfgang, from just seeing, if you're watching YouTube, we've got visuals for everybody. I always thought, Gigi Dolan, she kind of had a look to her as well, being a redhead and just whatnot. And like you mentioned earlier, Jakara Jackson. So some interesting NXT people that could probably catch waves or fire somewhere else. But to me, just kind of a diluted NXT product with all these people.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, Katana Chance, Caden Carter had been WWE Women's Tag Team Champs, but again, hadn't been around for a while, and that the whole division is just kind of fluttering. But Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, a great tag team, looked like they were, getting in on the action, had a couple of really good matches for the titles, and then that just has, I guess, went by the wayside. I guess WWE is still in on Lash Legend, though. Dakota Kai, we both talked about possibly beating Lyra Valkyria and being like the inaugural, if not Intercontinental Champion, if not then defeating her upon her rematch. Neither of those happened. And Maddie, I think Braun Strowman, I read something about him that maybe he just comes back here and there down the road, but I'm wondering if it's a little bit about, his body is just, he's a big dude, and big dudes just, their time is just limited in the ring.
Yeah, and I feel like his time's kind of came and gone. I don't really.
That's fair.
I don't think we're really missing out. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe there's a Swerve Strickland of the group. We're just missing it. But I don't really feel like any of these are going to be a drastic impact on the WWE brand or product. And Strowman just kind of, I feel like he had all from the Wyatt days, he had the look and the intensity and the, aggressiveness, and it just never clicked. Something was just kind of off. We've seen this kind of happen in the past with people like the Big Show. What could have been if just booked properly. That's kind of what I think of when I think of Strowman.
Yeah, I agree. His time was definitely a little bit more limited, and there was a lot of start and stop kind of to his career too. And then you see it as it goes along. He's got maybe 3 or 4 spots that he kind of hits, and then that's kind of all that there is to him. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it looks cool. He's powerful. It's a fun character, but maybe not necessarily long for the overall product. So this is an interesting time because we were talking about before as well, you and I, how WWE just went through the purchase of AAA, a completely different promotion that Michael Cole announced as a part of the WrestleMania weekend. And so you see, if you're watching along here, several key players or several figures that you're accustomed to seeing, whether it be on WWE, throughout maybe even WCW. I mean, a lot of prominent luchadors and other wrestlers that are in this promotion that could be making their way back into the WWE product. And at the very least, several of them are going to be featured. You see it there on the screen as well at Worlds Collide with NXT. So this one is interesting, Maddie. There's definitely some people I do want to see. There's a couple people I don't want to see. But, we'll see what we get.
I think that's what's kind of cool about WWE. They're doing different things. If you don't like the WWE product and you like the WWE presentation, that's where something like AAA kind of comes in. You get a different feel, but you're going to get a lot of these guys that are over like Rover, especially in Mexico. Everybody talks about Mexico City being kind of the Mecca. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. So it will be fun to see, maybe Del Rio comes back. Maybe we get a Sin Cara appearance. I heard they redid the La Parca. So there's a lot to look forward to, and just getting to see Penta, Rey Mysterio, just kind of this Mexico crowd and how hyped they are for AAA.
Yeah, I don't need to see Del Rio, but
that's Alberto Rio.
I think I've heard enough about Del Rio outside of the ring that I don't want to see. It's teetering Hogan territory, if you will. But that's not up to me. I'm not the maker of the decisions, and I'll just deal with that part of the product when it comes about. But yeah, man, there's a lot of exciting talent there in this picture, and a lot of people that are going to be under the likes of Rey Mysterio, who better to learn from coming into this WWE product than Rey Mysterio?
Right. When they say that kind of the thing Triple H is missing, or AAA, excuse me.
I was like, which one?
Triple H, the game, just their presentation and just their TV production quality is pretty bad from what I've heard. So I think this will be a big boost in the arm for the AAA product, and should be able to help get, a whole new set of eyes on the wrestling.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody brings here. Now, before we hopped on, Maddie, I told you you're not going to have a graphic for this one, but I told you, I was like, hey, after this week on WWE Raw, I was like, this is the first time that I kind of believe that there is going to be a third person that joins in with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Now, I guess you can say fourth if you want to include Paul Heyman, but I'm talking about in-ring talent. So if you look at the scene that we kind of got from Monday Night Raw, you had the return of CM Punk coming out there to help Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, breaking up that title match with Seth Rollins. And then obviously they attacked Roman Reigns upon their initial, debut as a group together there. So at some point, I feel like we're getting a 6-man tag, and this could be, maybe this is me just putting it out in the air. You know what I mean? We're gonna get CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn as a team, and maybe this is at a Backlash-esque type pay-per-view. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be like SummerSlam or anything like that, but just a smaller PLE. So I think with that, maybe that's where we get the introduction of the third man. And Maddie, I don't know what the availability of this superstar is, and I'm having to weave this story. I am telling myself a story to get this person into the group, and I don't know what their availability is, Maddie, but what if I told you that Seth Rollins has seen this man's destruction firsthand and respects him so much that he knows he needs him in this group, and this man that is coming back knows that he does not want to be a target? What if I told you they join forces with Bronson Reed?
Yeah. One of those, it makes sense. You're getting over a younger guy. He's already got the moves. He's got the look. I mean, I don't hate it. I think it would be definitely how you elevate another guy. And could you imagine Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker tagging together as maybe a tag team champs, something like that, where, Heyman and crew have all the gold?
I think that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I think, dude, I'd rather it be that, getting over a younger talent, than it would be to just bring in a vet,
I mean, if Paul Heyman can tell the story that he told on Monday Night Raw, which goddamn, that promo was
So good.
incredible from Paul Heyman. But if Paul Heyman can sell me that story about him and why he is never in the wrong, then he can most certainly sell me on why Bronson Reed needed to join up and why Seth Rollins respects him after the back and forth that they had, and Bronson Reed doing the 6 tsunamis to Seth Rollins and all that sort of thing. So it's one of those things that, keep your friends close, enemies closer, that sort of thing. So I just think it would make for an interesting duo, a big powerhouse, somebody else that could, garner some heat and protect Seth Rollins.
Yeah, it's amazing. I would love every minute of that. That's how you book a big man. It's how they've booked Bronson Reed. You get these lasting pictures of him with the tsunami splash or the parking lot brawl where he's just attacking Braun Strowman. That's how you get over a guy. I can't wait for Bronson Reed to come back.
Which, hey, kudos to Strowman for that. He made Bronson Reed look like a friggin' $1 million. So, kudos to that and his role playing in that. All right, let's jump into Backlash. Let's quit beating around the bush here. Let's just jump right into it. U.S. Championship, a fatal 4-way. Jacob Fatu coming in as your champion, going up against L.A. Knight. Yeah. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. This is a fun one, Maddie. Now, obviously, all of these guys got history, and it's funny. We talked about kind of this match. We alluded to it a little bit going into how into WrestleMania, how the picture just looked a little bit messy for the U.S. title, and then we ended up getting the one-on-one with Fatu. But now a fatal 4-way at Backlash, I'm fine with that. Like I think all of these guys got something to prove. They're all super interesting right now at this particular point, which is not something I could say about Damian Priest, just, even back to WrestleMania. I'm kind of in on this match, man.
Dude, absolutely. These are 4 really good workers, 4, upper tier that can be main event guys. I mean, from where we were with the U.S. Championship like a month and a half ago, where it was like Solo and Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu, Shinsuke, now we're getting 4 guys that could main event a PLE easy. And I think they're all really good workers. So I think this has, as Edge and Christian should say, this could reek of freaking awesomeness. Like this, this could be a good match. We saw the 2 triple threats steal the show at WrestleMania. Now we get a fatal 4-way and it's fresh. Give it to me. Give it to me now.
It's funny you talk about that AAA, man. My wife and I have a pest control service that comes by quarterly, and the guy was spraying down my office and just happened to pass, my WrestleMania chairs and stuff that I've got sitting on my wall, and he was just asking me what I thought about the about WrestleMania this past year, and he was in agreement. He actually literally said the 2 triple threat matches stole the show at WrestleMania, and that is how I feel honestly about this fatal 4-way. It's a good card. There's a lot of good matches that I'm interested in seeing, but I do feel like with these 4 guys, I mean, when's the last time Drew McIntyre had a bad match, dude? When's the last time LA Knight had a bad, Jacob Fatu is just, golly, man. All of these guys, top tier right now.
You said Priest, he's overperformed what the bar was set so low for him going into Mania, and what he's done with maybe that's McIntyre, but Priest stepped his game up. So I'm loving all 4 of these guys right now.
No way Jacob loses, right?
Could he be one and done as the U.S. champ?
Oh, man. I hope not, but something in the back of my head is like, why are they going to go the direction with the Solo feud? They've kind of been teasing the way that he's looking at him and that sort of thing, and I'm like, is this where it's going to play in? Because there are no rules, fatal 4-way, there are no rules. So does that play itself out? I don't know. I don't think so, man.
I mean,
I'm close to saying Drew. Could
you imagine the intensity from Fatu if he gets wronged in this? His title reign's that short. Just the intensity and just like that adds another layer to him. I think just as much as maybe him holding the belt is just getting wronged in this match.
That's a really interesting point. That's a very interesting point because he would go absolute. I mean, we've seen him go nuclear before, right? And it wasn't even for the title.
Right.
And so now to lose the title because of that, holy cow, man.
I think add to it.
I'm going to go Jacob. I'm still going to say he wins.
Yeah, same here. I'm not getting cute, but it
Okay.
is fun. It is fun to kind of let the thought process go. Samoan Werewolf retains the title here.
All right, let's check in with the Women's Intercontinental Championship, one of two Intercontinental Championships that are going to be on the line on the Backlash card. Lyra Valkyria coming in as your champion, coming in against the man, the returning man, Becky Lynch. I will say, this is the most I've been invested in Lyra since she's been on the main roster. I think her promos have stepped up a little bit with Becky Lynch, and I think Becky Lynch is right back to where she left off. It doesn't seem like she's missed a step, certainly not on the mic, and I'm happy the heel turn happened. It's not going to be a surprise here. This title reign has to this title reign has to end, man. Becky has to take this title.
Well, and how much more does it do for the IC title? Giving it to Becky and just letting her kind of elevate the title. What
Yeah.
she does as a heel is amazing. I think it's got to be the move. And they're pushing Lyra down our throats. I was looking at just like over the last year, second place in the Queen of the Ring, first IC champ, beating Bailey, beating Io Sky. I mean, she's won at WrestleMania, and now she's feuding with Becky Lynch. Like, I mean, she's got an upper game in all this. There's so much. WWE's handing her in the mid card. So, but yeah, what is Bailey's intentions in all this? Do we get a Bailey? Regardless, the story can keep going, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. I hadn't. I would rather see Bailey as Becky's first opponent than I would Bailey somehow getting Lyra to retain.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I just think she legitimizes the title so much with the win here for Becky.
Yeah, no, 100% agreed. I mean, I can't I don't want to go on and on about this match just because I feel like we've talked about Lyra for maybe the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever it's been. And I'm like, my stance just hasn't changed. I mean, again, It has been better since the return of Becky. And I think our thoughts have basically just been made pretty clear about these two before we got here. So I'm siding with Becky. You're siding with Becky too, yeah?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's jump over to the Men's Intercontinental Championship match. Dirty Dominik Mysterio and Penta, Smooth Operator. Penta, this is going to be quite interesting here with Dom and with Penta because I feel like, I mean, they've been teasing it forever, but Finn Balor, you talked about Bailey in the women's match, right?
Right.
Finn Balor, I think, maybe has a place here in this match too. Now, does it play out because it's more one-on-one? I don't know. But we've also said that it's not necessary for Penta to have the title, but do they start telling the story that Judgment Day falls apart while Liv Morgan is gone? I think that's the thing that's been crossing my mind leading up to this. So that's why I'm questioning this match more than I was before I knew she was going to be off television for an extended period of time. But I can kind of see this match going either way for any of those purposes. Yeah, exactly. We got the comment there. Does Finn screw Dom here? I think there's a pretty decent chance of that.
Well, not only that, but you have Penta's 0-3 in IC title matches. 0-3
already.
Already. So you kind of put yourself in a hole here. Do you kill Dom's momentum by having him lose, or do you just? I mean, Penta 0-4. He doesn't need the title, but why do you keep putting him in IC title matches?
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know he was already 0-3 in title matches like that. Man, that makes me...
Yeah, you got to give it to Penta here, I think.
Dom losing already 3 weeks in. I mean, I guess you gave him the WrestleMania moment. You gave him the defense. Lives away. Yeah, okay. You kind of almost talked me into it. But for that to happen, right? Like, it's not just... I mean, Penta could obviously straight up win, and I think it's probably fine, but wouldn't you want to go and progress the story further when it comes back around to Monday Night Raw and, Finn does whatever it is, whether it's a distraction, whether it's a punch, whatever the case may be, and that's the reason that the Judgment Day starts to implode. Like, I think there's got to be more of a story when Liv comes back with Dom.
Well, and I don't really think I keep saying it. I don't think Penta needs the title. I don't think it elevates. I'm not saying he's not a IC champ kind of guy. I just think it does more good having it on Dom than it does Penta, in my opinion. So it's just tough. This is, it's kind of like the Fatu thing. Like Fatu loses it, it kind of doesn't hurt him as much. But Dom, if he loses it, just a feud with Judgment Day, it's kind of like, I don't know.
It's tough it's just been brewing. So it's.
But then you have AJ Styles versus Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw. So we've already. So then why do you advertise that match?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out a little bit in this Triple H era, right? Like why certain feuds or why certain turns are being teased for as long as they are. So if you go back to New Day, man, it felt like Kofi and Woods were going back and forth with each other forever before we finally got, the story that they were going to with both of them turning heel. We obviously thought they were splitting up. They remain together. There's been several stories like that. The Chad Gable and Otis never really got its appropriate payoff, and there's more and more that go along with this Triple H era. So I'm trying to just figure out, like, are they still going to slope? At some point, people aren't invested about whether Finn is in Judgment Day or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it feels like it's either kind of now or never. And I just don't know if it's like if it takes all the way to, let's call it Money in the Bank, right? Do you care as much by then? Like, I'm just kind of, tell me the story now.
Yeah, I don't know how long you got to go with this story. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different avenues to take with this. Like, one of our viewers on YouTube, does Americana screw Penta here? That set up a match, in AAA. I mean, there's so many different avenues to go here. I think it's kind of like you said, we need to go ahead and get this Judgment Day imploding while Liv's not here, so we can kind of, get the ball rolling. I think on Dom, either as a slimy heel, Finn Balor's face turn, whatever you're going to do with Carlito, it just seems like it's long overdue.
Yeah, I kind of want Liv walking back into the the meme or the of the dog that's like sitting down at the kitchen table with the coffee and everything else is around him on fire, and he's like, this is fine. Like, I want Liv to walk back into that situation where Judgment Day is just like, it's imploded, and Dom's like, no, it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish you hadn't. I mean, I'm glad you told me about Penta, but now it like has really swayed me. I think I'm going Penta. I think he wins this match.
Oh, it's just, I don't know. I should know better because belts been changing hands a lot. But
yeah, that too.
I want Dom to hold it, so I'm gonna go with Dom.
Okay, all right. Let's kick it on over to Pat McAfee versus Gunther, the match that no one saw coming, and I don't think anyone was really asking for. But alas, here we are. I will say this, Maddie. McAfee, regardless of what you think of him on commentary, cutting 2 promos that are damn near better promos than half of the roster, 80% of the roster, 90%. I mean, his last couple of promos in ring with Gunther have been pretty damn good. So it's not selling me that he's going to beat Gunther, but at least it's entertaining while they're in there together. Pat is one of those guys that, man, you give him a couple spots, he's going to hit his spots. I mean, he truly is a professional from that standpoint. So is this a match of 10, 12, 15 minutes, or is this more the Randy Orton, Joe Hendry, Pat McAfee comes in there all hyped up and then Gunther kind of squashes him rather quickly?
I think you can kind of tell a story with this. You can go a good 10, 15 minutes if you have to. Just depends on what your plan is. I couldn't believe that McAfee hasn't wrestled since WrestleMania 38. I thought it had been sooner than that.
With Theory, right?
Theory and then the Austin thing, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great story. You've got McAfee sticking up for Michael Cole against the heel. Gunther comes off as a bully, and just the emotion, just the energy that McAfee brings with his promos. And that's why I think he's a perfect fit for like College Game Day. Like, he gets the crowd, you feel it, you get goosebumps, but for everything that he's done for Michael Cole.
Mhm.
You know, no good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah.
So I think you saw it with the promo on Monday night with Gunther. I think this is where Gunther really lays in a dominant performance where he just beats McAfee lifeless, whether chokes him out, makes him bleed, whatever. I just think you can really get the point across on Gunther's dominance here.
Yeah, let's just address the internet elephant in the room, if you will. Is this the further setup? Yeah, there it is in the comments. There it is. Gunther and Goldberg. Is that really the setup? And dear God, man, if it is, just fucking put it on my TV and get it over with, I guess. Like, I don't need another Goldberg match personally. But they referenced this thing, what, 6, 7, 8 months ago or whatever it was when Bill was in the crowd. Does it get there on Backlash, you think?
I don't know. I think they're probably, if they're going to do this, Gunther Goldberg, this is kind of like a dream match. Not necessarily saying we're there with Goldberg, but you're going to put that on at SummerSlam, right? You have to. That's a ticket seller.
Yeah.
It makes too much sense. 2 nights, SummerSlam.
Right.
So if you're going to do it, I think Gunther's a perfect guy to retire Goldberg. I don't think there's anything. That's how you elevate those younger talent as a legend. But I don't know. I think it might be too early to lay the seeds for that. Because do you really need 3 months of Goldberg?
You're stressed. This stresses me out now. A, because I don't want 3 months of Goldberg, and B,
No.
is Bill, God, like, he has to lose, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think you get McAfee's got to be taking a break or something. That's
no,
the only
no,
reason.
McAfee for sure loses. I'm asking Goldberg.
Yeah,
I'm over to Goldberg.
It's too early for that. I don't think we need.
Oh no.
Oh,
all right. Yeah. Odds of Gunther winning -1 million, right? Like, it's the most obvious match on the card, I think. So
yeah.
Let's jump into the last one here. Undisputed WWE Championship. Your champion, John Cena, against Randall Keith Orton. One last time. There it is, face to face. This feud's been pretty damn good, Matty. Despite the outcome of WrestleMania, this feud, for the short time that it's had its build, has been entertaining. And you just, man, these two wrestling, what do you call it? Soulmates, if you will. Essentially, anytime they're in the ring together, it just seems like it's magic. So, what do you think we're getting here one last time with Cena Orton?
Ooh, this is a whole different ball game with Cena as a heel. You got Orton as a face in his hometown. The crowd's going to be electric. This is going to have that big match feel, and I don't know if you necessarily need a lot, but I'm interested to see how Cena gets the win here. Like, how does this whole play out? What kind of heel tactics? Do we get a Travis Scott? How much of the story is told here? Does Cena attack maybe Randy Orton's dad? There's so many cool little layers you could do here for Backlash.
Do we get the obvious? Everybody's been pointing to it, so please, this is not my original idea, but a lot of people have pointed to the match whenever it was, where it was Randy versus John, and Randy, brings the referee over and just punches the referee in the face, gets himself disqualified in a title match against John Cena. John Cena, very much on record of just saying he's going to ruin wrestling. So in Randy's hometown, could you imagine if John just brings the ref over, slaps the ref in the face, disqualifies him on the spot? In St. Louis, people would lose their shit.
That's what you need. You need Cena, just that adds a layer to his vibe, his heel tactics. I mean, there's got to be something fresh from WrestleMania we get here that just ignites the crowd. Like you said, you play to that home field advantage and know what, he's making you hate him, and he's doing a damn good job at it.
I think if they went that route, then they can continue on with Cena Orton, which would be a good idea as well. You could carry that at least. What is the next PLE? Do you know, Matty?
You just mentioned it, didn't you? What did you say?
Is it Money in the Bank already?
We're in May, so June, July-ish. It's got to be.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look here in a second. I don't know why I didn't look that up beforehand, but yeah, I mean, I think they could carry it at least until the next PLE, but I don't think there's shenanigans coming in from Travis Scott. And the worst thing they could do, Matty, is for some reason if they get a wild hair and try to reintroduce The Rock into this whole thing.
Please don't. Yeah. Do not do that to us. Yeah, I just think you need to let these guys tell a story. They've done it for, you saw during, what was it, like 09, 08, these guys were literally telling a year-long story. I think there's too much history to not just kind of lean off that and kind of play with guys' emotions, whether it's, Orton looking like he's going to beat Cena, and then, like you said, Cena just kind of I don't think you need all the, what's the word, shenanigans. So I think it's a PLE, and it's a good match to have as your main event in his home crowd. Play off that. That's all you need.
No, I think if there's shenanigans at all, it can just come from John Cena, a la the Randy Orton callback there and getting himself disqualified in some manner. And it doesn't even have to be necessarily at the beginning of the match, but I think if they do it at the beginning of the match, then that's going to be like, kind of the most advantageous. Money in the Bank is in fact the next PLE for the main roster. That is Saturday, June the 7th. We got Battleground in there. I don't think Battleground is the
that's NXT, right?
Is the main roster. Yeah, they're purely advertised. Yeah, that's purely NXT. I was just clicking there and making sure that was just NXT. But so yeah, man, we're already almost at Money in the Bank, which is going to be coming from the Intuit Dome there in LA. But yeah, John Cena clearly holding. Oh yeah, tell the tape here. We got with John Cena 17-time versus 4. This has to be the most world titles in a single match, right?
Yeah, what?
31 single.
Crazy.
Unless there was a time. Well, no, because John didn't face Flair when they were tied, right?
Mm-mm.
Like at 16 apiece. So,
wow.
Yeah, both winning the Royal Rumble twice, Money in the Bank winners, tag team. Man, they are just like
neck and neck, man.
Neck and neck. That puts it so much into perspective. Every time we were talking about Randy Orton being on the Mount Rushmore, he's right there with Cena. He is right there with Cena in terms of accolades. The longevity is far going to outweigh Cena.
He said 5 more years.
Dude, sign me up. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks fine in the ring.
When I think he's a way better worker in the ring, in my opinion. So, I don't know, man. We'll see how this match connects, but just two legends here. This is like watching Brady versus Manning. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy it. Don't critique it too much. Just enjoy the ride, because if it is the last match we get with Cena and Orton, these are the ones you're going to remember. Just epic Cena as a heel. Come on.
I mean, everything with Cena from this point out, right? I mean, that's why he's had the ticker behind him showing he's like, hey, these are the appearances I've got left, and we're not even talking matches. We're purely just talking appearances. So, I think they could possibly tease Randy winning. They could have some near falls and things like that. But all in all, Cena's holding on, right?
Yeah. I think the best thing you can do with Cena here is just slow burn. Just nobody else needs to get involved. Let the spotlight be on the match itself. And whatever he does is what we're watching. Nothing else. No, anybody else. Travis Scott, no thank you, Rock. Just keep it all for somewhere down the road when it's needed. But right now, this is his baby. Like you said, don't take the attention off these guys.
Yep, agreed. I am right there with you. Now, last week was probably one of our longest episodes that we have probably put out. And in turn, we're going to get you out of here just like that, just a tick over 30 minutes here. So we appreciate you jumping on to Facebook, YouTube. If you're listening on Thursday, Spotify, Apple, we're in all of the places. And we will be back again with you once again next week. Matty Riser, Matt Kelly, WrestleMats. See you next time.